Wait, not yet. And that was the worst DJing.
What's up? What's up? It's your girl Hasina.
Hey y'all, it's Dr. Lanisha.
And it's your homegirl from your other homegirl, Dr. Love. What's going on?
Welcome, y'all, on this fine Friday the 13th. It is when the bras come off. No scripts, no chasers. Y'all already know how we get down.
We back with another episode talking honestly about life and relationships.
Listen, we are here to keep it a buck, keep it 100, keep it real, have real conversations, be authentic. This is a room, an environment where everybody should feel heard and seen.
That's right. And it doesn't matter what your status is, married, dating, single, is complicated. There will be some gems dropped in this podcast for you.
For sure. And as always, come on, get ready to laugh, reflect, and take some actionable steps towards the life of your dreams.
We are here to do the hard work and the hard work together. Y'all ready to get started?
Together, let's get into
Let's
it.
do it.
Okay, so kicking it off. Close the close.
There we go.
What's up, y'all? We are doing Grows and Glows, and y'all know this is our segment where we highlight the great things that we are doing, which are our glows, and our grows are things that we might want to do a little bit differently. We have learned from all of the things. So my grow and glow is around the same thing. My grow is that I signed 2 new clients for my identity reclamation intensive. And y'all, I created this intensive like on a whim. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna create this. And I was going back and forth, which is falling into my grow, going back and forth on what I should charge for it. But I had to tell myself, girl, get out them people pockets. They're gonna pay what they pay if they find it valuable. And so I got 2 clients that signed up. So shout out to them.
Man,
I
clap.
love it. Congratulations.
Thank you,
Get your
darling.
money. Get your money.
Get that part. And
Don't
change some lives while I'm doing it. What about
That part.
y'all?
I'm like, get that money.
Get that money. You know what? My grows and glows this week, I spent a lot of time reflecting this week. My grow is just really stepping into who I know I am and what I am capable of doing. My glow is just that I did that. I'm doing that. I can really look back and remember times when I would question and doubt my capabilities in the wellness space, doubt my brown skin fitting into the wellness space. But honey, I've been kicking down doors and I cannot, and I'm over the moon about it. Like just to have a career that brings people back to themselves, to be able to do that and get paid for it, that's my glow. That is absolutely my glow this week. Remembering who I am and doing what I know I'm capable of doing.
Period.
Yes.
Period.
Shout out to Professor Connor who gave, both of y'all a hand clap. I'm loving it.
What's
Okay.
up, brother? What about you, Dr. Love?
I love the grows and glows. Y'all touching lives. Y'all both helping people, in one way or another, and you get into the bag. So I love it. So I'm gonna go fast because my AirPods don't work, and so I'm struggling with technology. It's all good.
You sound good though.
Yes, you do.
All over the place. Anyway, I'm gonna say my glow first right now is if you see I'm sitting in this sunny I'm in sunny Texas.
Because
Okay.
baby, you are
No,
glowing.
look, you took
Okay.
the words because I was about to say, you are the glow.
I
Okay.
think the sun is doing something for me. This might be a hidden gem, So, so that's my glow. I'm out here, just living life, enjoying me and Babe, making some memories. Okay. Um, and my grow, I always be petty with my grows.
Uh-oh.
I can't travel with the dog, okay, because Teddy been out here acting a dang on fool.
You know,
Oh
piggyback.
my God.
Teddy been out here trying to mark everybody territory. He trying to hump everything. He trying to do everything. So just know if you travel with a dog,
It's
test
tough.
check the temperature.
It's
So
tough.
that's my grow. He like a kid of mine, and I'm a little embarrassed by his behavior this last week.
It happens.
He in a new place. Cut him some slack.
These
I'm
kids
trying.
love to embarrass us. Y'all already know.
I'm trying. So do y'all have any shout outs?
I do.
Oh, okay. What you
I am gonna go ahead and shout out the Alabama A&M Jazz Ensembles. They are going on a cruise to play. Um, this up. I think they're leaving tomorrow. So shout out to them. Shout out to them. All of the kids have been working very hard. And I hope that everyone that goes has their performance and relaxes.
I love
Yeah,
that.
love to hear it. Nice. Shout out to my daughters that are in Chicago right now that had to put on coats. I'm not with it.
Hey,
So I'm happy that they're so resilient. they, they out there with family, living their best life in the cold. So
Good. Shout out to my nephew Jalen. It's his birthday. Shout out to
hey, happy
him.
birthday,
Yeah,
Jalen.
happy birthday, nephew.
nice. Okay. Okay.
All right.
Well, y'all ready to jump in?
Whew,
It's
I guess so.
time.
Okay.
It's time.
Let's jump into the main topic. So I don't know how to kick this one off. We're talking about life after infidelity.
Mm.
What were we thinking when we came up with this topic? What?
You know what? I honestly don't even know. This one was just like straight off the dome. But I do have a question to kick this off.
Okay.
Just like straight out the gate, I want to get right into it. Like you said, Dr. Love, we talking about life after infidelity. I want to know right now today, I'm putting y'all on the spot. If
The answer is
your
yes.
partner was to cheat, would you forgive them? Yes or no? I ain't giving no details, ain't no more context. Where it stands. That's how I
Yes.
want to kick off the show today.
We got
I
one
would
more.
forgive. Now forgiveness doesn't mean that we remain, but I would
said, would you stay?
definitely.
I said,
I
would you
would
stay?
forgive. Huh?
I said, would you stay also?
Oh, you said that part too?
Yes.
I heard you say, would you forgive?
I said both.
Oh.
I thought I heard forgive, but however,
Okay, I'm adding stay. I'll add stay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It depends on the type of infidelity. It depends on the type of cheating. Was you sexting or did you smash and have another baby? I don't know.
Oh, so it's different levels to infidelity and cheating. So like emotional
Into this
infidelity.
thing.
Like if you got
Yeah.
a work wife or work husband and you start confiding a bit more in them about your life issues and challenges, and now y'all done grew an attachment or some type of relationship you developed, like emotional cheating.
It get deep.
It's definitely different levels to it for sure. Now,
It get deep.
but it's also different, things that make me stay or not. So, that's what I got. What y'all got?
How do we define what is infidelity? What is considered cheating? I feel like I'm gonna throw the question to y'all. I feel like cheating is anything you do that your integrity does not allow you to disclose, if that even makes sense. So if you do something that you don't feel proud of, or you feel like I don't need to know, or I might be upset if I find out, I feel like that is you doing something wrong is you cheat. God dog
Mm.
You know what? That's facts. I
Now, are
feel
y'all
like,
forgiving and staying? Because I feel like I'm the only person that said something about the forgiving and
oh no, I'm
staying.
gone. And we don't even got to talk about it. I'm out
You
of
said we
there.
need to have a conversation.
It's not a discussion to be had.
Yikes. I
Dr.
feel
Love
like
didn't
you
answer.
know, I feel like would I forgive? I'm always forgiving because I'm trying to free up space in my heart and in my
Mhm.
spirit. I always forgive. But would I stay? I think it depends because if
Okay,
it was like
another
emotional
opinion.
cheating, yeah, if it was emotional cheating and we haven't been talking and seeing eye to eye and connecting and we're able to get through it, I would be concerned with our communication. However, if you just was out drunk and saw some ass and decided to go for it, now I think you don't have no self control or no discipline. And I don't want to be in a relationship with nobody that don't have self control or discipline. So
Mm.
I think I'm in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I don't want either situation. And I think the reason that I'm able to say it so plainly is because I'm just not a cheater. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't think in any situation I could align with one. Right now, today, in my current situation, I would never risk it. Under no circumstance
Right.
would I take that risk. So if my partner doesn't share that perspective, we aren't aligned anyway. At this age, at 42, if we lying, sneaking, and cheating,
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to hear your explanation. I'm
Yeah.
honestly not even interested. I don't even care what the circumstance is. I just don't.
But are you lying, sneaking, and cheating if y'all hit a rough patch and y'all not communicating effectively? Like, what if you ain't even lying because we ain't talking at the end of the night? Oh, you ain't sneaking because we ain't been intimate or been having conversations for
Ooh,
weeks.
that's
So
messy.
I don't know.
That's messy
It
and
is.
toxic. But you know
It's
what, Dr. Love,
possible.
it's funny that you say that because in a past relationship, several hundred moons ago, I dated a
Several
guy.
hundred.
I dated a guy and we lived together, but I broke up with him. But
Mm-hmm.
all it's in every circumstance when you break up with somebody, you cannot immediately end the cohabitation. Like sometimes you have to undo some things to separate physically. So
Mm-hmm.
we were
Right.
broken up. Okay. I told him, finito, this thing is done. And so I was
Mm.
frolicking about, having a
I'm
time.
frolicking.
And he
Mm-hmm.
decided to go through my things. And I
Uh-oh.
promise you, from that day to this one, I will always be a cheater in his book because in his mind, I don't think he had come to accept the breakup.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't consider myself a
Mm.
cheater. Once I communicate to you that this attachment is permanently severed, that's it. Go do what you want to do. Sticky, I know.
So it's a little laggy. I hope it's not laggy for y'all. So is it cheating if we still are cohabitating, although we've ended the relationship, but we still have to sever
I say
Well, it
no.
sounds like you ended the relationship. I seen that he hadn't ended it.
He kept it going. Exactly.
You say we
right? You
Sadly.
still
think
we
But
still
the
live
point,
together.
exactly. The point was, Dr. Love, when you say communicate, like that's the key right there. How do we get to cheating if our communication is strong? How do we get here?
Mm-hmm.
hmm, that's a good question. So I'm gonna follow up with another question. I hope y'all can't hear this background noise over here. it's it's a little live.
I hear you better.
So if if it is zero tolerance for infidelity, is that for married couples or for people that are dating? Is there a difference?
Oh. Good question.
If your philosophy is
Damn.
zero tolerance in a relationship, then that's it. Don't matter if y'all married, together long term. You might even see that in the situationship as well. So it depends on what your philosophy or what meaning of what cheating is, and do you both agree? Like, are y'all having the conversations for sure about what cheating is? Because, some folks define cheating differently.
So you can be a cheater if you're not in a marriage.
Yeah.
I do feel like the ground rules may be a little bit different because of the vows and because of the sanctity of the matrimony and all of the things that people put so much weight in. I don't personally put weight in any of that anymore, but the whole of society does. So I think women have more grace for their husbands than
Mm.
they would somebody they're just dating.
So can men get over cheating the same as women then?
I don't think men ever get over it. I'm
Hmm.
not even sure if they are capable of.
Or want to, because
Yeah.
they live by the, you damaged goods now. You were my prized possession. I don't know how many times, I've heard things like that. Your prized possession, and we're just wired differently. And, when we cheat, it's not this, but when you cheat, it's that. And it's just like
It's a double
cheating
standard.
is cheating. And if y'all have come to the agreement that these acts are cheating in a relationship, then y'all have to deal with the consequences of what it is that comes after that.
Okay, so then what does it look like? So we're talking about life after infidelity. So what does that look like? Because I know some people that will stay in the relationship, but they want to get their lick back. They're like, okay,
Ooh, that's
well,
dirty.
you got to do one, so now I get to do one or two. So if you decide to stay, what does that picture look like?
It's tragic.
She said
I honestly it is like, what's up, Miss Toy T on Instagram? She said, hell no. The standard is double, triple. Yes, it is.
ripple.
Like triple. I'm gonna have to second that because, like she said, men are not as forgiving as women. And for whatever reason, they don't think they have to be. But once you break that trust, putting it back together is I feel like it's a long-term process. And
Mhm.
both people have to be committed to it. Like you can't be sorry that you cheated, but then your behavior doesn't reflect that sorrow, so to speak. Like I need to see, like, how do you even show me? I don't even know. How do you show that you're sorry? Because I've never been able to get over that. Once you
Yeah.
cheated on
I
me,
don't want to hear that sorry shit either. I'm sorry. I just don't want to hear that sorry shit because again, the communication is let's talk about this shit. You want to do something else, you trying to go somewhere else, you try to do something before two something and not with me. What is it? What's going on? So I just feel like if people were more honest and less selfish, this cheating aspect, I don't think it would be as rampant because you're having the conversations. Now, if we had the conversation, I'm like, yeah, no, I ain't down with that. I get it. We're gonna have to figure out if we're gonna go our separate ways or whatever because you are in this space. Then that's what we have to do. But it's not a lot of people out here that are willing to be honest about their shit, that are going to talk about it, that are going to accept that if you want to have your cake, you
Mm.
might not be able to have me too.
that part.
Well, I have another question though. What about relationships where intimacy and sex is weaponized, and because we're at odds, we're not intimate, and maybe that goes on for months, years? Then is that excusable?
then why you still in the relationship? You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes
Why
it's
are
not
we
that
still here?
easy. It's not that easy to just leave. Like
Mm-hmm.
sex
According to
definitely
you,
is
it is. You said I'm out of this motherfucker.
well for other people. See, I'm a different beast.
She said,
But
"I'm
also
agreeing."
that's now. Like I stayed in a very toxic marriage where I was cheated on constantly. So that I'm sure attributes to my zero tolerance today. Like I will
Mhm.
never allow myself to be treated like that by anyone ever again.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that's a part of it. But looking back, because hindsight is 2020, I stayed because I had a false hope.
Mm.
That's what I was given, false hope. I'm never gonna do it again, or just all the lies and reasons and excuses, which is sad because if somebody does make an honest mistake, maybe they do deserve a second chance. But because I gave a nigga 7, 8, 9, 10, I lost count.
You said, "I have no more chances to give."
I don't have no more chances.
Okay, but
I just don't think that cheating and infidelity is a mistake. I think it's a choice. And you
mm,
made the
Yeah.
choice with information that you have. And that information is I have this person that I'm going to choose to go do this act with. And if
mhm.
you bold enough to go do this act, you're gonna have to take your licks. You're gonna have to take that to the chin, whatever it may be. But I think that people lie about it because they don't want to deal with the consequences of what happened. And yeah, it's not always that easy. And we have all of us here, and I'm sure those of you all listening have been in situations where it's not that easy, and it's easier to say, well, if y'all not having sex, then you might want to consider not being in that relationship. But
Mm.
for the people that we want to learn from our mistakes, I'm here to say that, like, if someone is weaponizing sex, if you can't deal with it no more, don't go cheat. Just be like, this doesn't work for me anymore, and we're not in alignment anymore. And it's okay to say that. Will it hurt? Will it be challenging? Might there be some terrible days? Yes. But it is okay to say that in this relationship or marriage, we're not aligned anymore. Just as we would with, business partners, friendships,
Mm.
all of those things.
That's a fact.
So we,
And I'm not the only one. Miss Toy T said she also stayed with somebody for years. Oh my God, 16 years. Married 14 out of that 16, 5 children. Lord have mercy. And she said he was probably faithful for
Of those years.
4 of those years.
Yeah.
And
mm.
I
She called
also,
him a
something
garden
that
tool.
men
That
don't
means he a hoe.
understand. Go ahead, Dr. Love. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. She said, "Darn garden tool." He a hoe. That's what we talking about. I just want to make sure
Yes.
we put that.
And I don't think, because we are talking about life after infidelity, I don't think that, and not just men, I don't think people understand the impact that has on your partner. That
Mhm.
weak moment, I'll just call it, can cause years and years and
Damage.
years of
Mm.
damage and torment. And God forbid there's children involved.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's very, very difficult to even consider staying. It's a mess. It's
Yeah.
a
That's
mess.
why I say do the hard thing. Do the hard thing, because while it may be difficult, doing the hard thing may be where you start repairing this unfortunate situation that you might find yourself in, that you could find yourself in.
Absolutely.
Um, so I'm gonna read this next comment. It's our pride, which isn't. It disappeared.
Oh, sorry.
It's our pride, which isn't fair, and a huge double standard.
Yes.
I can appreciate that. Now, I will say that I'm petty because I do know husbands that have forgiven their wives for infidelity, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, yeah, he probably did something first. That's what I'm thinking in the back of my mind, but it may not be true.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he just loved her that much.
I have a hard time believing that. I think when a man forgives his woman for cheating, he definitely get his lick back every time. Every
Or
time.
not, right. Mm-hmm.
And call it even. And that's what allows him to stay. That's what allows him to forgive her. That's what allows them to sort of put the relationship back on track. I cannot be convinced otherwise.
Mm. So,
So
what are some of the things that people might experience after infidelity?
I think one of the biggest is no privacy. I think losing your privilege to privacy is one of the first consequences,
yeah,
because she might or he might want to be able to pick up your phone when they want to.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to feel about that? Are you feeling guilty now, and so you take the lock off? That's the first one that comes to my mind. Loss of privacy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah. I was about to comment with Miss Toy. She was like, she never got her lick back. I'm finna say, your lick is moving on. Your lick is when people be looking back and be mad. That grass was much
Mad as
greener.
hell.
Yeah.
The grass was greener, and then they come back and realize, man, I had this woman or this man that was holding me down, had my back. I ain't have to figure out who was coming over for the holidays. I ain't have to figure out, you know what I'm saying? I wash these socks on the weekends, whatever. And then you get a dose of that reality, and then you want your old thing back, and it's too late. That's your payback.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And Dr. Love, one of the problems that I think people as a whole face is going back, not standing on that business. You double back, and I feel like you lose your power when you do that.
Yeah.
Don't go back.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do y'all think once a cheater, always a cheater? Maybe I'm being too tough on people.
That's a good one. Well,
everybody in here with us tonight, once a cheater, always a cheater. Let us know in the comments, yes or no.
Yeah, I don't think so, because just as I think that people can change in every other area of their life, I think that cheating is something that can be changed if that person really wants to. Now, whether or not you stick around to find out if that aspect of their life has changed, that's something different. But I don't believe that once a cheater, always a cheater.
So,
because that's just like saying once the hoe, always the hoe. And if you decide that you don't want a hoe no more, then you ain't a hoe no
more. Okay. So a couple questions I want to answer and see what y'all comments, what your thoughts are. So first, Miss Toy, sorry for your loss, even though you sound like he wasn't very kind, sorry.
He the one lost.
He didn't move on. No, she said he deceased. So may he rest
he passed away.
May he rest well wherever he at. Okay. But hold on, because Be Smooth the Great, what's going on? He said, does invasion of privacy ever really help? And I'm going to say probably not, in my opinion. I think once you start going through emails, phones, once you start tracking locations, once we're into this whole habit of not being able to trust each other, it's a slippery slope. So I feel like that invasion of privacy is a consequence of not being able to trust you. Now I'm looking to catch you.
Well, I'm gonna disagree with Dr. Love. Be Smooth. Yep, it does help. What's up, John? Welcome. I think the invasion of privacy does help, because sometimes you gotta retrain people. And I feel like that's a part of the retraining process. You need to always have in the back of your mind, apparently, that I may look at any time. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to go on forever, but I think it needs to be a period of reminding that, my wife might she might want to do a check. I never know when she go. Yeah, it do help.
I mean, but how long you got to do that for? How long you got to
Right.
It,
keep them
it
on a tight
depends.
leash?
It depends. I don't know. Sometimes you got to put them on a tight leash. If you cheat on me and I forgive you, the leash is tight.
Mm.
Now, if you don't like those circumstances, you have the option to depart. But don't y'all think that once you cheat on someone that there are conditions to being forgiven? Like, okay, you could stay or we could work it out, but X, Y, and Z has to happen. There have to be some conditions.
I think it should be, and I think y'all should come up with them together. This is reminding me of, y'all. I was a cheater. I was a cheater, and I've changed my ways.
She's
But
recovered.
this is reminding me of, or putting me back in the mindset of, now I have to prove to you that you made the right decision to stay with me. And it's just like, does one ever really prove that? Or is this now a situation to where, we trying to really work through all of this? I want to have access to you. You got this tight leash. You got to prove me. The goalpost of proving is never set in stone. It's always the person who cheated that is expected to, like, make sure they doing the right thing. You better make sure you doing the right thing. You
I
better
like
cross the
that.
street at the right time.
I like that.
Because if you crossed at the wrong time, then I knew I shouldn't have stayed with your ass. Like, what?
It's that, and that is, guys, all of these things are the reason why I said at the top of the show, I'm out. Because I don't want to deal with any of it. I really don't. I feel like a relationship was not meant to be that hard. Like, we could have 99 problems, but another bitch better not be one. I'm gonna put it like that. Simple and plain. I could deal with just about anything. But the moment you decide to go dip your D somewhere else, I'll never speak again.
Well, I got a question though, because I was having a conversation with someone that is being accused of infidelity because he's chronically watching porn and pleasuring himself. Is that cheating if you prefer to pleasure yourself than your partner? Can you cheat with yourself?
I don't think so. Because,
No.
run me that Bodacious in Black 78 or 98. Run me that real quick. Let me see that video. I don't think so.
I think a porn addiction is grounds for dismissal. That's too wild for me. That's too wild for me. Let me read this comment.
What was that? It was an addiction. Is it an addiction, or is this something that they like to do from time to time?
What you about to read?
If you doing that more than you doing me, it's an addiction. There's a misalignment
or a choice.
Okay, but that's not cheating.
We have to get back to the.
That's not cheating if you hitting up OnlyFans and enjoying yourself in the shower for an extra 45 minutes to somebody else's.
Yeah, that's cheating. That's too much. That's too much.
Okay, so even if you're not putting your body part next to somebody else's, but you enjoying yourself to their image, that's too much.
That's too much. Nope. Miss Little Bit, let me read her comment, y'all. She said, sometimes they may not be your person and they end up getting with somebody else and never cheating on that person. Facts, facts, facts. That is such a good point, because when you find your person, you don't even want to cheat. I wholeheartedly believe that. If you are with someone and your mind is still wondering, they're not checking the boxes.
Let me just make a little correction, because Be Smooth, you said Hasina seems to be coming from a place of ego and control. I would say she's coming from a place of experience and maybe trauma, because sometimes when you've had a tumultuous experience, it changes how you interact with other humans.
Absolutely.
And if you know what I'm saying? And so think about like attachment styles. Like, I have been an avoidant attacher for a long time. Okay. And it took me time. And that stemmed from my relationship with my parents. No one did that to me. My birth
Yeah.
givers gave me that. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
some people, especially depending on if you have a little bit of anxious attachment, avoided attachment, like that could impact your relationships too. And you trying to keep yourself safe. Some people are
Absolutely.
coming up with these strategies that may not be effective, but it's because they believe it's going to keep them safe. And if I can, avoid another traumatic experience, if I can avoid a letdown, heartache, then I'm going to do XYZ. Don't mean it work all the time, but I think sometimes it's not about, you know, what I want and what is sometimes I feel like what I need.
What I need. But he's not, both of y'all are actually correct. Be smooth, it is ego because I didn't have enough of it in those past situations. And I know that society will sort of demonize ego, but a healthy ego is a good thing. And part of that is knowing my self worth. So I could stand on business and say what I will and will not do, what I will or won't accept. And
Mm-hmm.
that, to Dr. Love's point, keeps me safe.
Yeah. And
Period.
it's okay. I feel
Yeah,
like it's appropriate to say what you want and what you don't want
absolutely.
in
Yeah,
in
yeah.
situations with people. I think our not I think because I know our
Mm,
experiences with people definitely lend to the choices that
Yeah.
we make or the decisions that we make for what we
mhm,
want or what we don't want.
Yeah.
And I think it's okay for whoever in the relationship to want to run a tight ship. But also, you got to understand that just because you want to run it that way doesn't mean that the other person is
gonna
going
be
to
participating.
accept that, whether they cheated or not.
Absolutely.
It's all in what we gonna do, how we gonna do it, and is this something that we want to, you know, work
Mm-hmm.
out or not work out. And even if you, let's just say you stay, right? Even
Yeah.
if you stay, you still have a right to change your mind and be like, you know what? I stayed, but maybe I stayed because I wanted to keep tabs on your ass and I didn't want nobody else to have you.
Woo,
But
that's wild.
you know what I'm saying?
That's
But I
facts.
changed my mind. These hoes can have you. The streets can have
No.
Absolutely. I mean, and it even goes deeper than that, Dr. Niche. Sometimes you stay because you need to stay. Maybe I'm gonna stay
you.
for 6 more months because I'm gonna stack my bread before I dip. And it's gonna be a
Mhm.
little bit easier for me. Like there's so many reasons that people stay. And if you're the cheater, you may never know what those reasons are.
I feel like this. If I'm going to exit stage left, man, fuck that security deposit. You know what I'm saying? Now, unless we did, unless we have a mortgage together, because now it's two wrongs making a right, because now I'm manipulating and now I'm using you.
Mhm.
When you
Mhm.
think that I've forgiven you and you thinking that we about to build, what I'm saying, repair, and whole time, once I get this bread together, I'm out of here.
I
I feel like
know.
at that point it's two wrongs.
Yeah.
It is two wrongs, 1000%. And so for me, like I wouldn't do this, but if I was the cheater in a situation, I wouldn't even be comfortable staying with the person if they said they forgave me.
Mm,
No matter what they said, I would probably feel like I ruined it and we'll never get it back to what it was.
Do you feel like you ruined it, or do you feel like now they might be on some bullshit with you?
All of it, everything. Like I just
Mhm.
feel like physically cheating deads the relationship. Period.
I feel you. I feel you. Well, guess what?
I could be wrong.
We didn't talk through this. Don't we got a letter? Let's hear one of our little listener letters, because this sounds like let's see what these people talking about out here, because I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe we got it right. Maybe we got it wrong. I don't know.
I mean, this is a multi-layered topic for sure, and it has 1,000 points of view. But here we go.
Okay.
All right. Hey, ladies, I'm writing in as a married woman who feels like she's slowly becoming an afterthought in her own marriage. My husband constantly talks about work. It feels like every conversation somehow finds its way back to him, his problems, what he needs, or how he'd like to do things differently. I'm supportive. I listen. I'm encouraging. And I make space for him over and over and over again. I'm drained. What hurts is that when it comes to us, our marriage, our future, our connection, the effort is not the same as it is with his career. That's deep.
Mm.
Conversations about us seem way less important than conversations about work. I'm the one bringing up things that matter to me, where life is headed, how we're doing, how we stay connected. And if I don't start those conversations, they don't happen. At this point, I'm carrying the emotional load. I'm checking in. I'm trying. I'm keeping us emotionally connected while he's married to his career.
Mm.
This is deep. I made it clear that I want more, that I need deeper, meaningful conversations about us, and I don't want to be the one always having to initiate it. I'm getting to the point where I'm wondering, how much longer can I keep doing this? I'm not just annoyed. Amongst other concerns, I'm on the verge of leaving. Here's my question. How do you know when your spouse is just deeply consumed by work versus emotionally lackluster by the marriage? And how long do you keep asking for emotional partnership before you accept that your spouse may not be willing to give it? I want to make sure I answer the question. So, first things first, thank you for trusting us, the ladies that when the bras come off, with your letter. Thank you for being vulnerable. The question, I repeat it so we all can get a grasp of it. How do you know when your spouse is just deeply consumed by work versus emotional lackluster by the marriage? I feel like you don't know unless you ask.
Mhm.
I have a partner that is very expressive about his job, and we spend a lot of time talking about his job, but I don't really talk about mine much, so I can understand that point of view. But you have to ask. I feel like that's step number one, just like that. Dr. Love, what do you think before we go too far? Question number one: how do you know when your spouse is deeply consumed by work versus emotionally lackluster about the marriage?
My first thought is what them bills looking like. Do he need do he need to be lost? Cause my ass like to shop. I just
That's
need a
a good
little more
point.
information. How many kids run around here hungry? Um,
That's a good point.
because because I feel like sometimes you want people always in your space, but then they ain't got enough shit going on, and then you got enough shit going on, and you ain't got time to be in my space. You got to pick your poison, because if we don't have issues on the horizon financially together, then I'm like, all right, what's cracking? But I think I need to know like what that situation is.
I agree. We lost Dr. Niche.
No, I don't know what happened.
Okay, we'll keep it rolling. There she go. Okay.
I'm still here. I
Mhm.
just had to close the door because my dogs were barking crazily.
I never heard it.
Cause
But
they don't like it.
the question, I feel like the question wasn't about being in the space, if I'm correct. It sounds like all of the focus and attention is on having conversations about work versus having conversations about their relationship or their marriage,
Mm.
Yes.
right?
I
Okay.
mean, well, the question verbatim is, how do you know when your spouse is just deeply consumed by work versus emotionally lackluster about the marriage?
Mm.
How do you know?
Yeah, I think
It's
if you're
not
not
the
feeling a
guy.
need, I think if you're not feeling a need by being overly consumed with work, then that's where we have a challenge. Because if you're overly consumed unnecessarily,
Mhm.
we don't have no issues. We ain't stacking for the next, investment. Everybody eating, we good, we traveling, we doing everything we want, and you just prefer to be at work all the time, then, and it's not necessary, then that's where I start to question, like, okay, what's happening here? Because some people do absorb themselves in work to stay out the house or to stay out,
Yes, they do. Because
so.
it's easier sometimes to maintain and manage your career than it is to maintain and manage a marriage and a family. And so it's avoidance. But at any rate, I think as a husband or a partner in a relationship, you are responsible for your wife, for your partner, for your spouse. And a part of that responsibility, outside of financial, is emotional. And as women, we need our emotional cups filled.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like, that is a part of your responsibility when you attach yourself to someone. And it goes both ways. And it sounds like she's doing that, but that is not coming back to her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then part two, I know we got to keep it rolling. And then I will answer that question you just put up on the screen. Part two, question two: how long do you keep asking for emotional partnership before you accept that your spouse may not be willing to give it? Here's the thing, guys. Dudes play dumb. I think they're a lot smarter than they let on. And we kind of fall into this trap of believing that they just don't know any better. They do know. And sometimes they don't act until you about to leave their ass. And I'm sorry, I just have to say it like that because I've seen this too many times. Women, wives, girlfriends, partners complaining, being dissatisfied. And then when you pack your shit and you about to dip, a 180-degree turn happens. And I think that is because these men, and I'm speaking based on the letter because I know it goes both ways, fellas, don't eat me up.
Yeah.
There's no action until it feels like, oh, this is it. If I don't do it now, she for real.
Right.
Which
is wild because if I'm giving you the blueprint to me, if I'm telling you what it is, why do I need to be at the door? Because if I make it to that door, it's gonna take a lot for me to step back when I could just take one step out the door. So I don't know. I think that I think she knows what it could be, but I would say again, and I'm always talking about, have the conversation, let it be known what you want, how you're feeling and what you're expecting, and put a time frame on that shit. Like you talking about how long, baby, put a time frame on it.
I want to touch on some of these comments that's kind of related to what we're saying, right? So,
okay.
Deshaun 702, what up? What up? He said, "What is she doing to get it?"
Wait, I didn't hear that.
What is she doing to get it? B Smooth said, "What if he's future focused and she's focused on the moment?" Did she frame what emotional partnership looks like to her? Maybe there's no action because she always has a problem. It's hard to gauge severity when everything is presented as an emergency.
Damn, y'all eat
ain't you?
Y'all heavy in the comments, but no, that's what we want. We want to know what you guys think. Like we say it week after week. Talk to us. And those are some valid points, but I do think she made it pretty clear in the letter that she has told him what that looks like. She has explained what that looks like for her, just to be clear. So remember, guys, we talking about once you put it all out there, once you give the blueprint to your partner who may be struggling to meet you where you are, how long do you wait for them to meet you? When at that point where you begin to lose yourself, that's it. That's it, because we're on a clock. Like, as far as we know, it's no do-over to this thing. So you're gonna spend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like how many years? Remember, of a person not trying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna be honest. Like I don't ask for stuff over and over. Okay,
Mm.
because I got mad. My daughter ain't want to braid my hair last week. Okay. Then I asked her twice. I said, I asked you twice. I feel like if we're having the same challenge in the same area, then we need to pause and figure out what's happening in this area. Somebody mentioned in the comments maybe our love languages are different, and that is important because I don't know if we always discuss that. Like, you doing premarital or whatever relationship coaching, and if our love languages are not aligned, maybe I prefer words of affirmation, physical touch. Maybe you prefer acts of service and gifts. You know what I'm saying? Neither one of us is interested in quality time, but whatever it is, if we're not aligned, love languages is figuring out how to love your partner in their language.
Mm-hmm.
And if we haven't had that conversation, then yeah, he might be, you know, missing the target because he's thinking if I work, 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 this is the act of service. I'm paying these bills. I'm taking care of business. This is
Yeah.
how I show you I love you. And that's not how she wants to experience love.
And I feel
Yeah.
like that was beautifully said, Dr. Love. And the other thing that I'll point out is that it may not even be a right or wrong. It doesn't make her right and him wrong. Like, I just want to make it clear that it's just two people who are not on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
there are women who don't need so much. But I know some women who need a very minimal emotional attachment. I'll never understand that for the life of me, but they do exist. And so, that may work for someone like her, but there are others of us who are very emotional with a very high emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
And we need a bit more. And I feel like the longer you go without that, you do a disservice to yourself. And we should never be doing a disservice to ourselves.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So just to backtrack real fast, and then I know it's the time blowing by. So one of the comments on YouTube was about the physical cheating, and we actually, just to answer that, we talked about other forms of cheating, emotional cheating, earlier. So yeah, so we were talking about physical interactions now, but we did talk about emotional
Yes.
cheating before, and that's still shunned upon.
Yes, we don't accept none of them, but for me, I may consider like a different form, but forgiving a different form, but I will never forgive, tolerate, or accept physical cheating. But you might have missed that part of the show.
It's all
So
good.
no form is okay.
Like none of it.
None of it.
None of that cheating.
And
But
I'm gonna say this last piece, and then we're gonna get to the pull-up challenge.
okay.
We might need a part 2 because, in my opinion, men being physical creatures, honestly, I'd rather a man have a physical interaction than an emotional. Because if you actually love this bitch, we got more problems. You trying to get her house on the east side. However, if you just hit it and quit it, then you know what I'm saying, we can recover from that. But if you love one of these hoes, I'm sorry.
But you know what? We might have to have a part 2 because I would rather a man love both of us than just be dipping around. Like, the dip around, I cannot. Like, every time I see you and I see it, I'll see her and I will be disgusted. But if you really love somebody,
yeah,
and you can afford both of us, we might get talk about it.
She says,
let's wrap up
Let's do it. Yeah, I definitely think we're gonna have to have. I definitely think we're gonna have to have a part 2 of this one because I have more questions, but the time just goes by.
Let's go, y'all.
Let's go. Okay, so we're gonna real quick get to the pull-up challenge, and then we're gonna wrap up because this is gonna be real quick and simple. Okay.
All right.
So, pull-up challenge. Now, let me see. Niche, can you help me?
I'm trying.
So every time we have a conversation, we have a challenge, okay, that pertains to the topic. at hand. Now, this week gonna be a little interesting. I might get a little messy, okay? Because this is for the cheaters out there. This is for the lovers.
No, this is for the cheaters. Strictly for the cheaters.
This is for the cheaters. So, we're talking about life after infidelity. Okay. So for those who have found themselves on the other end of the infraction, okay, we'll say it like that. The question for you is, are you thinking about short-term satisfaction versus long-term results? Because what we discussed today, it sounds like these are things that will travel and carry a person through whatever next relationships they're going to get in. And it is not easy to recover, okay, if you have a zero tolerance for infidelity. So if you have been on the other end of that, we just want you to think, like, do you think about the long-term results or the consequences or even the impact it has on the other person? And hit us up because we want to know. Yes. I've never been a cheater, so I can't really tell you like what was on my mind when I did it because I don't know. But I would love to hear so we can maybe have a better understanding of how, very interesting, how to help people move forward.
Now, is this for the current cheaters or the old cheaters?
This is for the listen. So
we need a cheater on the panel. Any cheaters in the comments?
I see some eyeballs. So wait. So wait, they clowning. They talk about so cheating is cool if he can afford it. Where
they are clowning in the comments.
Listen, Miss Toy said cheating is not a broke man sport, but baby, they be the main ones. I'm sorry, they be trying to the ego. Anyway,
I can't.
We're gonna keep it moving. So think about it. Be smooth. We didn't talk about your cheating. However, everybody else, if you've been a cheater, hit us up and let us know how you thinking about
Lord
it.
Have mercy. Well, we gotta wrap it up, y'all. This was great. We're gonna have to go offline in the back room and discuss part 2. But listen, thank y'all for pulling up tonight and hanging out with us. Please, 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 if something here sparked the thought in you, lit a little fire up under you, do us a favor.
And do not keep this podcast to yourself. Send this episode to your friends. Send it to the cheaters, all the cheaters. Send it to the ex-cheaters, the new cheaters, the right now cheaters. Send this episode to them because we would love to get information about what's going on. We love to get their perspective. We don't discriminate on this podcast.
No judgment zone.
We do not. And we like guests, y'all. I appreciate everybody in the comments. Love it. But I need somebody one of these weeks to not be afraid to hop on camera. So if you all want to be a part of our next, if you see one of our posts and you see the topic and you want to hop on, come on camera with us and chop it up. We ain't gonna bite. I mean, not on the camera at least. So hit us up, email, IG, comments on YouTube, whatever. Join us for our next chat. And
yes, that'll do it. Out. Love y'all. Thank you for the support.